Well, it is 7 o'clock p.m. Tuesday night. That means it's time for Shop Talk. And I'm going to stick around, hang out for a minute just to see if anybody shows up before I start in on the things that I want to talk about today. If you're here, welcome to Shop Talk with Music Man. And today is July the 15th. We are halfway through the month of July. And what a month it's been already. I'm pretty excited about what's coming up. Stick around for the end. I have some important news, Corvette news, that I just recently received. And so I'm just hanging out to see if when everybody shows up. When you show up, if you can, give me a chat. That way I know you're here. Let me know if you have a car, what you have, where you're from. And if you have a dream car, what is that? If you're a Chevy guy, a Ford guy, Dodge, Plymouth, Buick, whatever, let me know what you love, what you dig. Again, this is called Shop Talk. I am not a master mechanic, so it's not about mechanical things of that nature. It's just basically a title. It's kind of like being around the water cooler at work, just talking about your weekend, what's coming up, what you did last weekend, what you're doing this coming weekend. So it's just, I call it Shop Talk just because it's that sort of thing. I have had my YouTube channel. I was doing some research on it this last weekend, and I guess I loaded my first video. I started to get serious about it the end of October. So I'm just gonna say that I've been doing this since November 1st. I have a lot to learn yet. I'm still learning every day. I learn something new, and I strive to get better. I strive to make content that everyone loves. I want all of my audio and everything to be perfect. It's not always perfect. I apologize for that. I also sometimes make mistakes when I'm talking about certain things. I did a video at a Chevy dealer recently, and I called the furniture white, and somebody corrected me that it's shadow gray or something like that. Anyway, GM likes to have fancy names for the color of their stuff, like habanero. Instead of just calling it orange, they call it habanero. Anyway, so welcome to Shop Talk for Tuesday, July 15th. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. As I've always said before, I try to only make this about a half hour long, maybe 40 minutes. Sometimes it goes over a little bit, but again, hit the chat. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from, and thanks for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the chat. I don't know what question you might have, but let's do it. Let's go ahead and jump in. So I always go back and talk about what happened since the last time I did my live, which was obviously 2 weeks ago on July 1st. And so right after that, was the 4th of July weekend. Basically, it was pretty uneventful for me. I decided to stay around the house and not get too carried away with going any place because I knew that the rest of my month was going to be extremely busy. So I literally, I did a couple videos on Thursday after I got up, and then Friday, basically, I hung around here all day. Didn't even go to Cars and Coffee at Georgetown on Friday. I didn't make it. I slept in. It felt pretty good to sleep in. And then Saturday was July 5th. And I went to Cars and Coffee, the one that I normally go to out on Lima and DuPont. Always go out there. Like, it's nice to hook up with your friends, the people that you like to see every week if you're in town. And so I went up there and hung out, and I ended up running into Tom again. Tom's got so many stinking toys in his garage. I just keep finding I keep finding stuff that he has that I want to do videos on. And so he agreed. I went over to his house after Cars and Coffee, and we did a video on his Super Bee. He had just finished it up, and I did the video, and I have that actually scheduled on my schedule to come out, I believe, August 1st. Because of the next few weeks are so busy for me, I went ahead and scheduled out several videos to come out as I'm gone on vacation. That way there's still stuff coming out on my channel, so you have to keep checking back. I have a Yenko Camaro coming out like the 18th, so make sure you check that out. So anyway, the 4th of July weekend was pretty uneventful for me. I just hung out here, did some chores around the house, and yeah, so then I went back to work. And then last weekend, let's go ahead and talk about the 11th through the 13th, which was last weekend. I was super excited about that weekend because it was Camaro Superfest and up in Michigan. I have never been to that show. I actually had plans to go last year, and when it came time to go, the weather looked like it was going to be really hot, and so I decided not to go last year. But this year I went, and let me tell you, it was pretty incredible. I went ahead and booked a hotel. So I got up Friday after I slept. I got up Friday and drove to Novi, Michigan. It's actually Commerce Township, Michigan, which is weird that they call it Commerce Township. I'm not sure why they do that. It's just a Michigan thing, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's the closest town that it's by is Novi. So that's where it is. And so anyway, I went up there, and I actually let's see, I guess I don't have that photograph anymore. I went up there. They had a fish fry going on Friday night, and so I had a plate of fish. It was incredible. Really good. I'm not real crazy about fish most of the time, but that fish dinner was really good. So I did that, and then I went back to the hotel, and I sat around in the parking lot and talked to a bunch of my friends from the NEOCC. If you guys are on here, make sure you hit me up with a chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're from. That would be cool. So anyway, I hung out, and of course, as every time it happens for me, I get tired early because I usually just take a short nap on Friday to start my weekend. And so I turned in fairly early, 11 o'clock, I think. I went back to my room, took a shower, and went to bed because I was wore out. I'm getting old, so that happens. But anyway, so the next morning, which was the 12th, July 12th, Saturday, I got up early because that's what I do. And I want to share a few photos with you. I got up, and everyone was basically still in bed. And let me go ahead and throw this up there so you can see what I'm looking at. And so this is out my window at, in my hotel. What a view that was to wake up to that, right? As you can see right down here is my car. That's my car, SIC1LE. And then this whole line back here is pretty much all, I think pretty much all NEOCC cars, Northeastern Ohio Camaro Club, my people. So yeah, that's a pretty cool view, right? So I'm just going to page through some of the photos so you can check it out. And I just like started taking a couple photos and then I'm like, you know what? Why am I doing that up here? No one's out. It's still early. I'm going to go outside. So I went outside and started taking photos. And I ran into Russ, which, Russ, if you're listening, you're a crazy dude. I had fun talking to Russ. I'll show you his car here in a minute. But these are some of the cars that were out in the parking lot. And I think this photograph right here might be one of my favorite ones. It's pretty cool, right? I wish that Penske truck wasn't down there on the end, but it is, so I can't change that anyway. So got some really good photographs. And, of course, every single time I see a Riptide Blue, it kills me because I passed on the one that I had built. Everybody that shows up with those, they don't even realize how much it kills me to see that color because it's pretty incredible. It's one of my favorite colors. It's actually a Corvette color, and they put it on the Camaro for the last 4 months of production for the 24. So there's not very many of them floating around. And the gentleman that owns this car is a really nice former military, great dude. I actually parked next to him the next day at the car, or later that day at the car show. Great guy. So here's some of the other cars. Now this particular car is the president's car, Morgan's car, convertible Panther. And that car is amazing. This is my friend Andrew Garcia's car from Camaro Cave. And his car is awesome also. Of course, it's a Panther, so every Panther's cool. But this is a really nice Z01 that I saw. Orange. Beautiful. So, yeah, I just basically took some photographs out in the parking lot while everybody was sleeping. And, I took some different ratio. That's for YouTube. That's for Instagram. That way I can use them on a different social media. But I kind of like that shot across the back of them. And there's SIC1LE. So then here's the a Z01 Panther, which is this guy came from, let's zoom in. Can we zoom in? I forgot how to do that. I think he came from, what's that say, New Hampshire? I guess he drove 12 hours across there to go to Camaro Superfest. So, yeah, Z28, nice looking car. And then this car right here, I took a bunch of photos of this car, and then I went inside to the hotel, and I'm in the hotel, getting around, had some breakfast, and I look outside, and this guy's out here cleaning this car. His name's Kevin. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to go out there and talk to Kevin about his car. So I went outside and asked him if he was interested in doing a video with me. And of course, he was interested in that. It's kind of funny because most people are interested in shooting a video on their car. There have been a few that say, I don't want to do that, and I'm okay with that. I even had somebody say yesterday they would hang out with me, but I can't do a video on them. Well, I'm not going to just shoot a video of you without your permission. But anyway, so I went outside and I ended up doing a video just on this car. And of course, I don't have it up on my channel yet, but it will be up in a couple weeks after I get back from vacation. It's a very incredible paint job. This car, actually, I saw it yesterday or the day before. I saw it on Camaro Fest post for last year's Camaro Fest. So this car is pretty popular in the Camaro community. It's a wonderful paint job. He's got LED lights under it. He's got a couple of speakers in the front behind the grill right here, and it plays patriotic music. He drives it a lot in parades and things like that. So that's pretty cool, right? So anyway, I took these photographs, and moving right along, these two cars here, the first two, this 50th anniversary and the ZL1, they came from Iowa. I tried to catch up with them, and I never did. I never was able to catch up with them because, of course, I'm from Iowa too, right? Yeah. So anyway, so then I basically decided it was time for me to go. Everybody started taking off, and so I got in my vehicle and I drove out to the site where they were having the car show and hung out. And then basically, so I got several hours into the day, and then I went ahead and launched my drone. I thought I would go ahead and just play this. It's about 3 minutes long. There's obviously no audio with it, just because it's obviously a drone. So this right here, this tent is where the car show happens. And then this is basically the main drag down through here. We have different Camaro clubs. On the right side, I believe, is Eastern Michigan Camaro Club. That's the club that actually put on the show, hosted the show. And I don't remember the name of this group here within the yellow tape. And then right here, the next group is NEOCC. And then there's yet another group here, a smaller group with 8 or 10 cars, I'm not sure. And then this is the DJ booth right here. Registration over here to the right. And then a few vendors down along this way. But I think I think I heard somebody say that there was about 200 cars there altogether. But I always like to launch my drone because it gives you a little bit different view of everything that's going on. It gives you kind of obviously a bird's eye view of everything. And I just absolutely love doing that with my drone. I don't know why it's freezing up on me like that, but it's glitching. Why is it doing that? So there we go. It skipped ahead. Right down here is my car. That's weird. It skipped back to the beginning. Strange. I don't know. Anyway, you get the picture. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm switching back and forth. I don't know. Okay, and then once we get over to the top of the trees, there's a several cars back here along the back of the woods. Some tucked away on the edge of the woods there, and yeah. Down here is a Synergy Green. I'm crazy about the Synergy Green cars. You guys all know that. Or if you don't, now you do, right? I want one so bad I can't hardly stand it. I don't know if I'll ever get one or not, but they're pretty cool. I've wanted one since they started making them again. Actually put a deposit down on one when I was married. And then things happened and we weren't able to get it. But anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then, we can go ahead and move on to the next thing. But, yeah, well, okay, maybe we'll go back to that. Let me go back to that real quick. There's a couple cool aerial shots. This is from way up above. I went as high as I could. 120 feet is when you start getting into airplane territory, and they don't like that too much. So I go about 119 feet, and then I take a shot. So there's my friend Kim. He's waving at me, him and his wife. I didn't even realize it at the time, but down at the bottom, right here is the NEOCC sign. That's pretty cool, right? So yeah. Anyway, so we had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I went. Now I went ahead and I decided to go ahead and come home Saturday night, just because I had so much other stuff to do. This is at the very end of the day. They got all 5 Panthers together, and they did a little photo session with all the Panthers. This one in the middle is the ZL1 from New Hampshire. I think his name's Al. And I know this is the president of the NEOCC here. That's Morgan. And then this is Andrew from Camaro Cave. So the 2 SSs on either side of the ZL1. I don't know these people over here. I haven't met them yet. But that's pretty cool to have, 5 Panthers in one spot, I think. So it's pretty cool. I kind of gave up on trying to shoot a bunch of different photos because, it's hard to do that with so many cars in one photo. But so, yeah, anyway, that was very cool. Had a great time. And, so that happened. And then I came home and started getting things around to get ready for this coming week. So, yeah, it's coming up this week, actually. In a couple days, I got a couple more work days left, and then I'm off to Pennsylvania. Coming up the 18th, 19th, 20th is Camaro Nationals, and that is in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. So that's going to be, from what I understand, that's even more incredible. That's the top dog as far as Camaro shows goes, from what everyone's been telling me. Again, I'm a new guy. I'm a new fish, just coming in a couple years in, and some of these shows I've never been to. But I'm excited because this weekend coming up is Camaro Nationals in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. So I'll be getting out there Friday. It goes on all day Friday and all day Saturday. And then I opted to stay another day on Sunday and hang out, maybe go swimming or something and relax, because will officially then be on vacation. And then after that, I'm going to head over to Bowling Green. On Monday, I'm going to head over to Bowling Green for Kentucky for Camaro Fest. Excuse me. So I have a lot of fun stuff going on coming up, and like, I can't hardly wait. They said 700 cars plus at Camaro Nationals, and then of course I was at Camaro Fest last year. But one of the real exciting things about going to Camaro Fest this year for me is that I'm going to do the road course on Thursday. I can't hardly wait. That's going to be so much fun. Like to be able to take my car on a road course and not necessarily drive it like I'm a race car driver, because I'm not, but be able to open it up and drive it on a road course. That'll be my first time ever. I'm so excited about that. I can't hardly stand it. And then of course, last year was the first time I ever took anything down the drag strip. I plan on doing that again this year at Camaro Fest. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do Camaro Cross. I tried that last year and wasn't really all that crazy about it, but I think I might go ahead and still try to do that. So anyway, hi Perla, she has chimed in. Thanks for the chat. I appreciate that. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out the live. I did a live at last week's show on Saturday, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Is I had the opportunity to just out of the blue, I asked Andrew Garcia from Camaro Cave. I'm like, hey dude, I'm getting ready to go live. You want to do this with me? And he's like, sure. So we clipped the mic on his hat and he helped me with it. I'm telling you what, that was so much fun. Like, it was great, because I guess it kind of almost took some of the pressure off of me to always have something to say. And Andrew is like, he's got this huge bank of knowledge when it comes to Camaros, because he's not 2 years in like I am. So he knows a whole lot more about them. Yeah, I've known of the car. I've wanted one for a long time, but I didn't actually have one. And so my knowledge of them isn't as extensive as Andrew's is. And so it was actually pretty cool to have him along, because he was able to point stuff out and say, this is what this is, and that's what this badge means. And I'm like, dude, like, thank you for helping me. That was so much fun. And I hope that, we can collaborate more like that together, because it was a lot of fun. So thanks, Andrew from Camaro Cave, for doing that. And the other thing is, I kind of felt bad, because the way my camera works, it has the ability to hook up 2 microphones to it. And I have been trying to do some research. I'm trying to figure out how to be able to add a 3rd microphone to it, because I would love to get Tonya to help too, because Tonya is the other part of Camaro Cave. It's Andrew's girlfriend, and again, she's loaded with knowledge, Camaro knowledge. I mean, she's been driving Camaros before I ever had one, so she knows a lot about them as well. And I was a little disappointed that I haven't really figured it out yet, how to have 3 microphones in one camera. So once I figure that out, maybe we'll get Tonya to help us out with doing a live like that too. That'd be a lot of fun. So Anyway, so yeah, that was from last weekend. I guess I'm kind of skipping around. I forgot that until just now, but moving forward, again, I plan on going live this Saturday at Camaro Nationals, provided that I have good service out there with Verizon. I don't know what the service looks like, the phone service. So I guess it will all kind of be up in the air whether or not my phone will work good enough to do a live. And then the other thing is I had actually considered branching out and maybe doing a live on Instagram or something, because I have I think close to 1,000 followers on my Instagram, sick_1LE. And so I thought maybe I would try to do a live on that as well. And then maybe even a Facebook live. I'm not sure. But then the following Saturday, while I'm at Camaro Fest in Bowling Green, Kentucky, I also want to do a live out there as well. So we'll have to see if that works. But we are already at a half hour. And so I want to go ahead and talk real quickly about some information that I recently got from GM. Now, if you don't know this, maybe you do, maybe you don't. The way I understand it, General Motors shuts down the first 2 weeks of July every year. They just completely shut the doors, they have people bringing in new equipment for the new model year. They switch stuff like that out. All of the employees are off for 2 weeks, and they go do whatever they want to go do. But with that being said, they only have a couple more weeks of production on the 25 Corvette, and they only have 3 weeks left. So then they're going to start building the 26 model. And originally, I guess, let's see, I have it here in my notes. Originally, it was supposed to be June the 2nd that they were going to start making the 26s, but then that got backed up to August 4th. So they backed that up, but here's the other nugget. The ZR1, they kept telling everybody, we're going to start producing the ZR1. And all these people went out and put money down at their dealership to get a ZR1. And then GM came back and they said, okay, we're only going to produce 310 of them. And then they didn't have certain parts. They couldn't get some of the high wing, some of the aero stuff. And they have literally only made 70 of those cars. And then recently GM informed the dealerships that, hey, if you have people that put an order in for a 25, they now are going to have to buy a 26 because we can't make the 25s. We're going to stop making the 25s. We can't. So they're basically forcing these people to not only not have a 25, which is the first year of the C8 ZR1, but now they're forcing them to go ahead and, change their order to a 26. And if you don't know, with the new 26 comes more pricing, more increase in the price. And again, I have that written down here somewhere. $7,200 increase. It's $7,200 more from the 25 to the 26. And that's just for the model car itself. That doesn't include the increases on the different packages that they offer with that car. So needless to say, I think there's a lot of people that's pretty upset about that, especially, that doesn't affect me because I don't have money to put down on a C8 Stingray, let alone a ZR1. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't want one. Yeah, obviously, I'm like everybody else. I'd love to have one, but I don't. and I won't be buying one. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, it's crazy that they made the announcement, hey, we have this really cool car. Who wants one? And people go and put money down to buy one or order one, spec it out the way they want. They say, okay, now we're only going to make 310. And then they turn around and only make 70 of them. Whew. There are a lot of people that are highly upset about that. And I don't blame them for that. And then if you put your order in, now you're not only forced to do a 26, but you now have to also pay the increase. Now, this is just my opinion. I think the people that already had their order in for a 25, if they got shoved over to 26, I think they should be grandfathered in at the 25 prices. That's just my opinion. I mean, we're talking about a car that's $174,000 base price. And you're going to force them to not get a 25. You have to buy a 26 now. I think maybe some people might decide not to get it because they're so frustrated with that. Like, first you tell us we can, then you tell us we can't. Now you're telling us we have to get a 26 and we can't get a 25. And it's going to cost us more. I have a feeling there's going to be some people that are going to back out just because that has to be pretty frustrating. I'm frustrated for them. I'm not even the one spending the money on it, and I'm frustrated about that. I don't know if that's really fair. What do you think about that? Leave a comment down below. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Did you order a ZR1? Are you frustrated that that they're forcing you to now get a 26? Like, you guys, do you realize I'm getting wound up? But I want a freaking Corvette. Terrible. Like, I want one. I had 2 Camaros in the garage. I got rid of one of them because somebody wanted it more than me. It was a collector's edition Panther. And I'm like, you know what? If I have one really cool Camaro and I get rid of the collector's edition, I can have one really cool Corvette. And I'm just waiting for the right time. You just never know what the Music Man might do. I don't have any intentions of getting rid of my Camaro because I've wanted a Camaro for a long time, since high school. I've been out of high school. I'm celebrating 40 years class reunion. I graduated in 1985. That's 40 years ago. I've wanted a Camaro that long. And I finally got one a couple years ago, and now I'm on my 3rd one. And now I also want a Corvette. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Where GM is just basically like, hey, check it out. We have this really cool car. Who wants one? And then on top of that, they decided, okay, now not only is the ZR1 really cool, but a month ago they put out, we're going to make the ZR1X. Okay. So now it's 1,250 horse because we're going to put an electric motor in the front along with the internal combustion engine, and we're going to make it ridiculous 1,250 horse. And then, oh, by the way, today I got another email from GM Authority, and guess what? They're saying there's going to be other variants of the Corvette. Like, when will it stop? When will you guys go, okay, I think we pretty much did what we've done, and we're kind of like at the end of the road? Because look, if you can't even make the cars that you promised people, and then you keep changing up stuff and you want to make different variants, what about making the ones that you said you were going to make and filling the orders for the people that ordered one instead of forcing them to skip ahead a year because you can't make it? Like, I'm frustrated for them. I don't consider myself a Corvette guy because I don't have one. I want one, but watching this go on, it's a little frustrating because, you know, it's kind of like you put all your eggs in a basket, and then they go, okay, well, you can't have any more eggs. Like, you have to change and get something different. They stopped making the Camaro. That's crazy. Or as Andrew says, we think they're on a hiatus. They're just hanging out like they did between 2002 and 2010. They stopped making it for a few years, and then they came back stronger than ever, 5th gen, 6th gen, and then they stop again. Like, can we just stop with this nonsense, GM? Can you just keep making cars that people love? Like, not everybody wants a Corvette. Not everybody can afford a Corvette. Keep making the blue-collar Camaro for the people that love the Camaro. Come on, like, seriously? We all work hard for a living. We don't all want to have to drive an Equinox. Bring the Camaro back, for crying out loud. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. I know I'm going off on a rant, but anyway, if I'm going to Camaro Nationals Thursday, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't know me, or if you know of me, or you heard about me, whatever, I'm Music Man. Make sure you throw something at me, conk me on the head, say hi, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you. And then if I don't see you out there, do the same thing over at Camaro Fest in Bowling Green. Maybe I'll see you there too. But with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, because it looks like I'm about 11 minutes past my half hour. And if you stopped in and hung out with me today, I appreciate that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see. If you have an opinion on my rant that I just ended up going off, I wasn't really trying to rant, but it ended up going there because it did anyway. I'm not going to make a reason or an excuse, but one more thing before I go, and then I promise I'll go. I got my hats in. Literally just got them from my neighbor before I went live. So I have a few of these available. If you're interested in one, make sure you get with me. I don't have any kind of store yet on my site, but I'm going to sell these for $25. And no, I'm not getting rich off of selling them for $25. It's got, it's got the front end of a Camaro right there, if you can see it. See the bow tie in there? Isn't that pretty cool? And then, of course, it has the keyboards across there, because that's how I roll. Anyway, Music Man, musician, drums, piano. If you haven't checked out my video on my music video, make sure you check that out as well. So anyway, I am thankful that you stopped by, and make sure you set your alarm. Like one of my friends said he's going to set his alarm on his phone for noon on Saturday. Music Man's Garage will be going live at noon on Saturday. Make sure you set an alarm and hang out with me again. And I'll show you, I'll do the best I can to show you as much as I possibly can. And I got a little secret. I actually bought a Segway electric scooter, because as much as I need to exercise and as much as I love to walk around and get exercise, 4 or 5 acres of cars is a lot of walking. And so I made the decision to go buy a Segway scooter. And when I go live on Saturday, I plan on, actually firing that thing up, and hopefully I'll be able to hold the camera. Where's my camera? Hold the camera, Action 5, and drive around on the scooter and not fall and crash. Anyway, I'm going to go for now, and I'll see you back in the studio. I'll be back in the studio in 2 weeks on the 29th at the end of my vacation. So you guys have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with the Music Man. Music Man, I am out.